Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Star Wars Alliance Podcast, your home on the Geek Ultimate Alliance Podcast Network for any and all things Star Wars. I'm your host, as always, Katie Rentschler. I'm here. I'm wearing makeup. This is like a first in a while. I tried to put a little more effort in today because very important episode. We have Joe from A Walk Through the Multiverse, Comic Book Rundown, and Ranger Alliance podcast, stepping in for Clay, who's slacking today and not just decided not to show up. I'm just kidding. Clay's in the middle of moving. That is why he's not here. He will be back next week. So, yes. Joe, how are you doing today?
Oh, not too shabby. I was talking before we went on live here that it's middle of a snowstorm here in Indiana, and snow sucks. As soon as I get done here, I go plow the driveway again, and then in the morning before I go to work, if I go to work, gonna have to plow the driveway again. So, yay!
The joys.
Yeah,
so the South has had a winter storm for the past 3 weekends.
Okay.
And so we got like 5 inches the first weekend, and then we got 0 inches the second time, and then the third is this weekend, and we're supposed to be driving to the beach to go visit with Matt's grandparents. So
okay, and how much is it? Oh wait, that's what this weekend. Never mind.
Yeah.
I forget. My days have just been like jumbled together. I don't know what day is anymore. So
you're telling me.
Yeah.
You're telling me. We have a couple people in the chat, so I want to shout them out. Nathan was here 12 minutes before we started. Nathan, he said it was so good. It gave me all the things I wanted. Crying face.
Oh,
Nathan. Loved it.
You're going to hate me today.
And he also said, no shitting on this from you two.
Nope. We'll see. We will see.
And I said, I make no promises. And we have Derpy Gaming in the chat as well. Hello. And he said, Dave Filoni is a god. And Clay is also here. Hey, I know these guys. And Nathan is back in the chat, and he said Dave is the GOAT. Again, Nathan, you know I love you, and you know I appreciate some of Dave Filoni's storytelling. We'll get to that, though. But first, before we get into the episode that was the Book of Boba Fett today, the Book of Interludes, I guess. I don't know.
We'll get into that.
John is also here. It's a good day to be a Star Wars fan. Yes, it is. So before we get into anything else, y'all, we do have to hit a couple things on the podcast paperwork side of things. Star Wars Alliance is a part of the Geek Ultimate Alliance Podcast Network, like I said, where we are an ad-supported network. So I will try to give you a warning. We should have about 1 ad today, so nothing to worry about there. It won't be too bad. But just so you know now, we don't get to choose who the ads are from, nor how many times you hear the ad in the same episode, nor how loud they are. So just prepare those volume levels. We appreciate it, as it does help support the podcast and the network as a whole. The Geek Ultimate Alliance also does have a Patreon where we have 2 tiers. The $1 tier helps keep the Kyber crystals charged on here, and the $5 tier gives y'all ad-free episodes, exclusive episodes, and any early episodes we may drop. Dropping this month, I have a slice of The Duke and I, where I'm going through a Bridgerton novel. Fun. Because I was reading it and I was like, why not? Because season 2 is coming out in March, so might as well. And then I will also be talking about Star Wars comics. We're going to be going through the first 2 volumes of the Marvel High Republic cool. Comics, so that'll be cool. And then I've also got a Legends podcast. So I will be talking about Darth Plagueis, Maul, the first Maul novel, and then Maul Lockdown. Nice. So those will be the 3 novels talked about there. So those are just a little glimpse into what you can get on our Patreon. I missed this because I always do this first and I just completely skipped it. There are 8 shows on the Geek Ultimate Alliance Network. Words. They're hard.
Words are hard. I say that every day on Comic Book Rundown. Words are hard.
So Sundays is Slice of Film Day. Slice of Film will be returning in April, so make sure you check those out. And you can also scroll back in the feed and get all of our previous episodes. Mondays, every other Monday, you have Ranger Alliance one week and World's Finest True Believers the next. Tuesdays, you get DC Alliance. Wednesdays, you get superhero discussions. Thursdays, you're here. It's Star Wars Alliance Day. Fridays is Marvel Alliance. And Saturdays, every other Saturday, is a walk through the multiverse. So,
Woo.
yeah. A couple more people have joined us in the chat. Just going to shout them out. S-Bubs. We got S-Bubs saying Star Wars, the Book of Star Wars, a Star Wars story.
Got that right.
Damn straight. BSP, hello there. He said, fun fact, Ahsoka is a Hindu name. It means the one without despair. I did not know that. It was very interesting. So, it might explain a little bit of her attitude in this episode. Spoiler alert, but did I miss anything? Oh, y'all.
Yeah, I think live shows.
Live shows. We have live shows. Mondays is DC Alliance. Wednesdays, you're here. A lot of people are here. Wednesdays is Star Wars Alliance, and Thursday nights is Marvel Alliance. So those are your live shows. We are here weekly, unless we tell you otherwise on our Twitter feeds, which you can follow at the GUA Pod Network to find all those updates. Because I'm just gonna say GUA Pod Network, because it's simpler. We are also doing a giveaway. Y'all, we are giving away the out-of-print Star Wars Legends Old Republic Omnibus from Organic Price
There
Books.
you go.
I knew it. I was going to get it. I promise.
Sure, I was helping you along.
Thank you. So Organic Price Books is the sponsor for Marvel Alliance, and they have graciously donated this book to our cause. The Omnibus is for U.S. residents only, but he has agreed to give a $100 gift card to an international listener. And so you can, if you're international, you can win the gift card. If you're US based, then you can win the Omnibus. And you can do that by doing, you can do that by reviewing us on our solo podcast feed. Y'all, the chat is scrolling right now, and it's just squirrel. I just, okay. So that's what's causing me problems.
I don't have that on my end. Oh, darn.
Yep. So you can do that by reviewing us on our solo podcast feed, Star Wars Alliance. You can do that on any platform provider, whether it's Podchaser, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, whatever you use for Android Podcasts. I think Matt used to use Google Podcasts before I made him get an iPhone.
I use Podcast Addict, but I don't think you can actually rate anything on that.
Gotcha.
I could be wrong. I don't know.
So those are the places you can do it. You do have to send us a screenshot on the Star Wars Alliance Twitter page, or you can message my Twitter or Clay's Twitter. So Slice of Katie, Fanboy Clay, or Star Wars Alliance without the A in the wars, and just message us a screenshot so we know how to get in contact with you, because otherwise we don't know. So far, only 2 people have entered the giveaway, and we'd love to see more people. If you have entered, you can also get an additional entry by liking, retweeting, and following the Star Wars Alliance Twitter page. So you can retweeting. You can retweet the pinned tweet. That's the tweet to retweet and like, and that will get you an additional entry. So go do that. That giveaway will happen not next weekend, but the weekend after. So we will announce who won the giveaway on February 16th. So you've got 2 more weeks to enter, y'all. 2 more weeks. Go do it. Very important. John says, can I still join if I won the last one? I don't remember. Did you review the solo feed? Clay asked you that. So if you haven't reviewed the solo feed, then sure, why not? You could also, I don't know, make a review for your he said, yeah, I did for the last contest, but I'll download a new app and review it there. Hello.
There you go.
That's perfectly fine. You can also you can go review it on your significant others page, and that'll count too. So perfect solution. So with that, we have one piece of news today, and that's about it. But it's something that's very important to me, because that hashtag show says there are rumors that Lost Stars by Claudia Gray is being made into an animated show for Disney Plus. And y'all, Okay, I was like, there's page numbers in here somewhere.
Nice.
Stop laughing at me.
I can't help it. So, Lost Stars, you said in the chat that this is a book that you love, and Claudia Gray, she just is amazing author.
Yes.
I have this book. I'm pretty sure I read it. I can't remember. But because I remember some of it, so I don't know if I've ever actually finished it. That's my problem.
So I have the paperback, and I listened to this on Audible as well. Yeah. The Audible is pretty good. And this book is 551 pages, y'all. 551. So it's a long book. It is a young adult book. But it's like a Star Wars Romeo and Juliet.
Yes.
So it's very good.
Yep.
Nathan says it right here. Oh, Katie loves Lost Stars. Yes, I do. It is the best Claudia Gray novel by far. So if I had to rank Claudia Gray's Star Wars novels, I think I'd go Lost Stars, Leia, Princess of Alderaan, Bloodlines, Fallen Star, Into the Dark, and then Master and Apprentice. Just in case people were curious. I like having my reference back here.
Yeah, no, my reference is above me in the room above me on that shelf, and I can't really see it. So
that's why I did this.
Which is fair. Well, I got no room back here. I got too much other stuff. But no, Claudia Gray is amazing. Her Star Wars books are great. I read half of them so far, and she's got more coming out down the line. She's a great writer. I'm looking forward to this show if it does come out. I'm looking forward to this coming out because look, we're taking enough TV shows, movies, ideas from books. Right. Why not already do it with the established Star Wars books that we have?
Thank you. Yeah. That's my opinion. And y'all, I do apologize. I just realized that my mic was set to my camera instead of my.
I was wondering why you were loud. It's all good.
I don't know if I'll be able to edit this out because I'm not as skilled and Clay's not available. So we're gonna figure it out. But I do apologize if, in fact, I don't fix it. So yeah. But it should be all better now. No, so Claudia Gray, her earlier stuff is like the best. And look, Clay's in the chat. He said, "Send it to me, Katie. I'll edit." You're my hero, Clay. You are my hero. I'm sorry for screwing up. Claudia Gray is like her early stuff is just so superb, and her stuff in the High Republic has been okay. And I did enjoy Fallen Stars. You can go check out our review. It's 2 episodes back. But the Fallen Star was not as good as Rising Storm in my opinion, but it still was. It was a return to form for Claudia Gray. So one thing that I hope for, as if this trend continues, is that they choose to bring in Claudia Gray to have input on the show.
Oversee it, yeah.
Yeah. Because obviously you're not going to be able to tell the same story book to TV. Things have to change because body language can differ and everything. Now, it being animated would...
I was about to ask, yeah.
I think it being animated would run in its favor, especially considering there is a Lost Stars manga that has been done. So,
okay. Very good. Very nice.
Yeah. So, highly recommend if y'all haven't read it. It is Claudia Gray's best for Star Wars. So, yeah, that's about all I have to say. I don't want to keep reiterating. It's the best. It's the best. Go read it. So, with that... Are you ready? Are you ready, Joe?
Are you ready?
Y'all, actually, before we do that, because I think we're only gonna have to do one ad break today.
See how expressive I get, but sure, we'll go with one.
We'll go with one. So we're at about 15-minute mark here. So if we go over an hour, then we'll hit another ad break. So we'll see how it goes. But 45 minutes, I think. This episode wasn't even 40 minutes. So
I could rant for 40 minutes. I do it on my show all the time.
All right, y'all.
Let's go ahead and get into it.
Y'all, we will be right back. I'll give you a 3, 2, 1 countdown, and we'll come back after that. If you're in the live chat, we appreciate you, and you'll see some podcast magic. So 3, 2, 1. We'll be right back. And we are back. So, Joe, non-spoiler thoughts. Joe's like, fuck you, Katie. I want to get into this shit.
No. Okay, no. We'll do non-spoiler thoughts. This was a good second episode of The Mandalorian Season 3. Yep.
I can consider that.
It's a good episode. It's a really good episode. Everything that they are doing is telling a good story. With what we got last week, what we have this week, the story is progressing forward. It's just not the story that I thought we were going to have. That's my non-spoiler thoughts.
Nathan, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it, Nathan. So my non-spoiler thoughts is this is definitely Dave Filoni's best directed episode of Star Wars television. By far.
Okay.
So I think a lot of people can agree with that. It is a very good piece of Star Wars television, and it is something that I have dreamed about since reading the expanded universe novels and reading about the Jedi Academy and going, oh, well, I guess that's spoilerish. Oh, well. Y'all, we're in spoiler territory.
Okay. All right, we're spoiler territory. This show was... No, okay, go ahead. Continue, finish up.
Seeing this episode, it was something that I have dreamed about for years after reading the expanded universe. The Jedi Academy novels, oh my gosh, like I love those, and just being able to see Luke actually interact with a student, and Mark Hamill returns in this episode, and I'm still like, Disney, just recast. If you're going to use him like this, recast.
So I actually thought that they definitely did a way better job this episode than they did the end of season 2 of Mandalorian. He looked so much better. The voice... He blinked multiple times. The voice still sounded very monotone. I noticed. I watched it twice. Now, I'll get into that a little bit later. But I thought they definitely did a better job visually with him, considering since the last time we saw him. So that's good.
By far, I think there were some points where you go, that didn't look the best. And like you said, his voice sounds still very robotic, which I'm like, you have Mark Hamill there.
But I have got a theory of why, though.
Okay.
Do we want to say it now, or we want to wait until we get into the episode?
Go for it.
Okay, so this is the Luke Skywalker, the legend. Now, in Last Jedi, the whole reason why he gave up everything, why he, not only because the temple got blown up, maybe by Kylo, we'll see eventually. Comics say otherwise, whatever. But he had talked to Rey about how he became this legend, and he couldn't live up to the legend that people saw in him. So this is him being the legend of Luke Skywalker. He's the one that blew up Death Star. He's the one that killed Palpatine, Vader. This is him at this point in his life where he can't do wrong. He has to go with his feelings, his thought, and that's the only way that's gonna go about, which inevitably brings about Kylo rebelling and maybe, quote unquote, killing all of the other Jedi and destroying the temple, which is where we get him in Last Jedi.
Right. So, and that makes sense. Because you feel he has a little bit of reservations with what he's doing in the scenes. And it's really clear he's just like, I don't know what to do. And a certain someone tells him to follow his instincts. I swear, I was watching this, and when he gets up off the bench and is aiming the pistol, and you see Ahsoka Tano.
Yeah.
I legit turned over, hit pause on my remote, turned to Matt and said, "What the fuck is Ahsoka doing here?"
I was at work, so I watched this at work this morning, and Ahsoka shows up. I'm like, "Oh fuck, that's awesome! Okay, cool." R2 shows up. Oh, that's great. We see a couple other people. We'll get to that in a bit. And the one in particular, really, the beginning with Cobb Vanth was just amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
The last guy, which we will play around with. I mean, everybody knows it was on the internet. We all know. When Cad Bane shows up, that was amazing. Yep. That being said, though, this show's called the Book of Boba Fett. Can I have some Boba Fett in my Book of Boba Fett, please?
You got 30 seconds of him. Is that not enough?
No, I got a minute and 2 seconds.
A minute and 2 seconds, you counted it.
I did count it, and he didn't say a damn thing.
He did not. This is correct.
2 episodes, 1 minute and 2 seconds. Come on. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead, continue.
No,
I'm not even that big of a Boba Fett fan, and here I'm pissed. Whatever. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, and I can't cut live action Star Wars television a break because
no.
A lot of times in books, like Thrawn, for instance, the original Thrawn canon novel by Timothy Zahn, it is called Thrawn. It's specifically called Thrawn, and yet it's split between Vanto, Price, and Thrawn. And I'm like, where is my Thrawn?
Yes. Now, and they're... I'm not saying they're not going to do it in the show, but in the Thrawn novel, all of their stories weave together in and out. Well, especially, Vanto and Thrawn. Mm-hmm. But this one, it's, all right, well, Mando pops into Tatooine and Fennec asks for his help. It's like, well, I got to go do this first, and then I'm going to come back, and then I'm going to go do this, and then I'm going to come back. Like, there's a difference between weaving into, like, these characters together and just having them there. This is them having them there. And I'm not saying that, look, if on the last episode we get, because I think this is what's going to happen. I'm almost certain Grogu is going to choose to go back to Mando, and that's how
Luke is going to return to Tatooine.
Well, so it'd be great, but no, I don't think so. Actually, I think Ahsoka might show up. But even that's a good point, though. You got 2 Jedi right here. Why can't they show up? Luke does have a connection to Tatooine. He grew up there. I mean, I get he probably never wants to go back, but come on, dude.
I think for me, and Nathan said don't shit on my favorite Star Wars book. Nathan, until you read Heir to the Empire and get a new perspective on who Thrawn is, don't talk to me.
Not shitting on it, really.
I still enjoy it, but it's not Heir to the Empire by any stretch.
Whatever, Nathan. Ahsoka may not be a Jedi, but it's whatever. Sorry, I'm in the chat.
I know. So for me, I'm like, I think because how Ahsoka does not leave any room for Mando to return and communicate with Grogu. It's literally like, are you doing this for him or are you doing this for you? And Mando leaves. There's no way to communicate with him. And Ahsoka, by all stretch and purposes, leaves as well. Now, this is very nice break for her in her, speaking of Thrawn, in her quest for finding Thrawn. So I'm curious, because a lot of people have said that her Mandalorian episode actually was before the Rebels epilogue, and that she comes to grab Sabine after her Mando episode. So where is this?
Okay.
While you think on that, Clay has said, would you rather The Mandalorian Season 3 be extra long and then have you complain about too many episodes of filler? No, Nathan, what I'm thinking... you're not Nathan, you're Clay.
Wow.
God damn it. So I think, and a lot of people have said this, they would have rather this had been specials. And I think they should have taken the Doctor Who approach.
Yeah,
where
you know what? I
everything
like
involves
that.
in the story revolves around one singular story and everything's weaving together. But you can have different seasons and go, okay, your Mandalorian in this part is Boba Fett. Your Mandalorian here is Din Djarin. Your Mandalorian over here is Bo-Katan.
Yeah.
And doing stuff like that while having specials that tie all of the storylines together. I think that would succeed a lot better than how this is going.
I agree wholeheartedly. I don't like the fact that we've got Boba Fett focused for 4 episodes, and it's currently looking like 3 episodes is going to be Mando. Which, again, if everything comes together in this final episode, I will take back everything I said. The episodes that we got, this week's episode and last week's episodes, are great episodes. But when you tell me that this is going to be about, this whole show is going to be about Boba Fett, and you don't give me Boba Fett, why are you calling it the Book of Boba Fett? Now, you had mentioned that, books they follow different characters. Yes, of course. But, like I said, all of those characters weave in together, and by the end, tend to have a resolution. There's been no real indication any of this is going to have a resolution. Words are hard. And I say that knowing full well that the stuff that happened with Cad Bane and Cobb Vanth will essentially get the people of Freetown to go help Boba Fett. I mean, I think Cobb was going to ask them anyway until he got shot, but this is just going to give a solidify.
Give them more purpose.
Yeah. So yes, it is going to line up for that stuff. But why show the Luke and Grogu training? Why show Ahsoka at all? Like, unless those guys show up, there was no point in seeing that.
Mm-hmm. And Clay and I talked about this last week. Book of Boba Fett has always been supposed to be Mandalorian season 2.5. So it makes sense why they weave in some characters. But those specials you could have legitimately. You just have the Fett tribe, the Fett council, whatever you want to call them, talking, and then Din Djarin comes in and is like, oh yeah, I know who could help. And then you hit on maybe him going to see that, but maybe he disappears while you still tackle the Fett storyline. And then you tackle, like a couple people have said, oh, I think we're going to go see him go visit the little friend, go visit Grogu, but it'll be at the beginning of Mandalorian season 3, and it'll just be like, hey.
So that would have been fine, but the problem with that is if he shows up in the last episode, if that was the case, he goes and we start out season 3 of Mando, and he's going to see Grogu, going to get Grogu, whatever, and then he shows up in the season finale of Book of Boba Fett without Grogu, then either he didn't go at all, or he went and now we already saw all of season 3, or we already have an indication of what's going to happen by the end of season 3, that he's going to get out, but Grogu didn't. Mm-hmm. And if he shows up with Grogu, then we have an indication he went to go see Grogu. All of season 3 means nothing because he ends up here. So that is one of those fine lines where, with this, having it play out like it has is again, it's fine. But I feel like, to answer Clay's question, no, I don't want them to have more episodes in Mando, longer season, and have fillers. But at the same time, why are we getting this here? That could have been the beginning of Mando season 3. We don't know how many episodes they're going to be. What was the last 2 seasons? 8 apiece? 10 apiece? Like,
yeah.
The shows nowadays on streaming aren't very long. And given the fact that these episodes themselves run between 35 to 52 minutes, I mean, there is no filler. They haven't really given us filler because they can control the length of the episode. If it's filler, then that's on you. Like, I'm not saying this stuff is filler. I'm saying this stuff is good for Mando season 3, not Boba Fett.
And I think we've already tackled, like, I think the Doctor Who type spin on it could have succeeded. I know a lot of people have said that maybe this is actually a result, and we don't speak her name, but the she who must not be named was actually right about Pedro being frustrated with the production on Mando. However, I think this is more in line with he was filming The Last of Us, and this was a good way to still pull Mando in while also not having him tied to a rigorous production schedule.
Also not having him on set because we haven't seen his face yet. And
correct.
I'm not saying he's not in the suit, but if he's doing Last of Us and he's stuck doing that, which looking forward to that movie, just going to say.
TV show.
Whatever. It's Last of Us. I'll watch it. Just like I'm going to go see Uncharted in a few weeks. He could just do the voice. That's all you need. I'm not saying he needs to phone it in, but I mean, look, like, we don't need to see your face. Then it's fine.
So, John brings up, he said, the Luke and Grogu parts felt like a backdoor pilot for Tales of the Jedi. Tales of the Jedi is a rumored show. It has been seen, and the reason I say show is because it's been seen on a couple pieces of Disney Plus production material. And so that's kind of the baseline for the assumption is Tales of the Jedi is something along those lines. We have no clue what it's about, other than it says Tales of the Jedi. So it could be Republic-based, it could be, or Old Republic-based, it could be New Republic, or it could be Rey and Finn in the sequel trilogy. We don't know. But yes, I would agree. It felt very much like a backdoor pilot that they kind of used to guide the way on this. What do you think about that?
Personally, let's watch a show or a movie without the Skywalkers. I'm so, like, we've had 9 movies of them. Like, and that's okay, come on. Like, I'm not saying that they shoved him into the end of Mando season 2 because the story they were telling worked perfectly. I do feel like they shoved him in here though. But this is my opinion. This is my thought. I don't think it was needed.
Joe's never going to be allowed back on Star Wars Alliance.
That's my goal, to be kicked off of here. No, like, wouldn't it be cool to see Luke Skywalker training Jedi? Yes, it'd be great. However, I know the end result. Now, this is different. I would say this is different than, say, us watching the prequels and knowing the end result for the original trilogy. Only because this... I don't want to see them kill any more Jedi. Or at least younglings. Like, got that enough with Order 66. I don't know.
We get a flashback too in this.
Yeah.
Luke is like, let's remember your home. And I was thinking, oh, okay, he's trying to figure out where Grogu's from. And it's like, no, let's go remember Order 66. And we see the 500 first. We see 3 Jedi Knights die.
Yep. I think heavy spoilers said that might be a certain group, but then it kind of ruins continuity because you see Anakin actually killing them in Revenge of the Sith. So I don't know. It's not like they don't change continuity in this world anyway.
That's the big question.
Yeah, going back to the Ahsoka Sabine thing, maybe because we know Sabine has been cast for Ahsoka. Maybe that can still work, like they have because they have Ezra and Thrawn. I don't know, like they can retcon stuff. Maybe we will jump forward for that, and that's going to be it. Who knows? They haven't actually officially said what the Ahsoka show is, outside of them saying Book of Boba, Ahsoka, and Mando are going to maybe have a crossover at some point. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is the crossover they were talking about.
Clay says, but we don't see who saves Grogu.
Correct.
And I would say that nobody saves Grogu. I would say that there was a secret order from the Emperor that said, hey, I need you to go find these Jedi and bring them to me. Because we know that Grogu was with the Empire. He was being cloned, or something was happening with his DNA, so he was with the Empire. So what's to say that he wasn't with the Empire for all those years? I believe it's stated that he was with the Empire.
See, I asked my girlfriend that if she remembered, and she couldn't. was he with the Empire? Because I know the whole reason why Mando starts out is because what's his name? I cannot remember his name now. Has Mando go look for Grogu, and they had the cloners, the Camino cloners, take him once Mando dropped him off and started working on the blood sample, which I thought, because this is set where when it's set, could then start doing the whole Snoke cloning thing. I can't remember off the top of my head any indication that they had Grogu beforehand and he escaped. It just definitely seemed like he disappeared from the Jedi Temple, which now is proven that he was in the Jedi Temple. And then he shows up in that city that Mando finds him in. So I'm not saying he couldn't have been under the Empire's influence for a while and somebody got him out, but I don't see any indication that he was yet.
So what Wikipedia says is Grogu was rescued from the siege of the Jedi Temple and was taken into hiding after the Galactic Empire rose to power. Okay. During the Imperial era, he remained undetected by concealing his Force powers.
Okay.
I thought in the Mandalorian show they said he was like... So I wonder how the Empire got him. Anyways.
Some indication had been given somewhere because he had a puck. He had a... the bounty puck for him.
The chain code, yeah.
So, like, somebody somewhere knew he had these abilities, knew he was important, and let it leak somewhere, and that's how the Empire learned about it. So, then he was in the Empire's care for a little bit, enough to get the First Order's care, I guess you could say, enough to get, blood samples and cloning DNA stuff.
Right.
Other than that, I don't know.
Nathan says those live action clone troopers looked so damn good. He said Jeff's kisses, but I think he means chef's kiss.
No. It's now Jeff's kisses from now on. I'm gonna start posting that.
Jeff's kisses.
Yep.
Okay, so if we pulled this out and it was a special or it was part of Mandalorian, you would be perfectly okay with what we got in this.
Yes. No, and don't get me wrong. This is a great episode.
It is a great episode.
It's a great episode for the Mandalorian season 3, not Book of Boba Fett.
We want to make that uber clear. This is a great episode of television. Joe, yes. I think Joe and I both agree on that.
I know I'm on the outskirts of it being a great episode for Boba Fett, but just give me Boba Fett in the Book of Boba Fett. That's all I ask.
So I want to bring up, I guess we could finish the episode and then talk about, because next week's the season finale, right? Yep. So let's finish talking about the episode and then we'll talk about next week's episode. So we get, and we start off the episode. We have Timothy Oliphant is back, which it was, I think I had predicted that because we knew he was going back to Tatooine.
Do you remember you saying that from last week?
And it makes sense why he would be here.
Yep.
And so Cobb Vanth, which they are now calling Mos Pelgo Freetown, which I believe is what it's called in Aftermath. Again,
yes.
Hated those books. So,
which I love those books. The only stipulation, the only canon wibble wobbly stuff is that he still had the armor when it was called Freetown.
Well,
so
but Freetown,
in the books.
So Freetown takes place. The Aftermath books are immediately after Return of the Jedi, and this is 5 years later.
But then it was still called Mos Pelgo. That's where the wishy-washy thing comes in.
Wishy-washy stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
But regardless, that's fine. Yes. So it starts out. We got Vanth coming up to some Pikes who are trying to trade some spice. He does a badass move and kills 3 of them.
Yes.
So cool.
And then he's like, he was originally going to allow them to leave with everything.
Yeah.
And then they go, no, we're going to do this anyways. And then he kills all 3 of them. And it's completely badass. And then they're like, yeah, you can leave that. consider it a penalty.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, so he got the credits. No, he took the spice. And it's like,
but I mean, it's
like a shoebox full of spice.
Well, I mean, but that's a ton of spice. The Pike even says like, this is worth more than your whole town, and Cobb is just like, well, I'll get to retire then, whatever he says.
Yeah.
And then as soon as he opens it up and we look at the spice, he kicks it over and then lets it blow away. Like, dude, I can't love you anymore. Stop it.
All right. So I gotta talk about this because Nathan. So the next part we really get, because we've talked about the Mando and Ahsoka and the Luke parts. And so Nathan said, I love Raylan Givens in Star Wars. And it looks like, because I have no idea who this guy is, it looks like he's the deputy, I want to say.
Oh, the dickhead?
Oh, no. Raylan Givens is Timothy Oliphant in Justified. That's
gotcha.
his Justified character.
Okay.
Nathan, you can't confuse me like that. I was like, what the...
The deputy was a dumbass. Just gonna say that.
The deputy was a dumbass. That's what I thought he was. And I was like, the deputy, I was so pissed off with him. Oliphant keeps telling him, like, no, I got this.
Okay, yeah. So after Mando leaves and he kind of is talking to Cobb about, hey, the Pikes are going to move in town or move on this planet. You're on this planet. We need your help. And Cobb's like, hey, you know what? I'll ask around. I can't guarantee anything. So he's getting ready to, like I said earlier, he's going to tell the town, look, we need to go help Boba Fett because this will affect all of us. But before he can do that, we get one of the most badass scenes of Cad Bane walking from a distance, the stranger from the desert.
Yep.
Walking up, and holy shit, we get a shootout. Man, it was beautiful.
I want to. So yes, the shootout was beautiful, and Matt wanted to just ask. He was like, "Wow, his teeth look really funky." Did you think his teeth look funky?
That's his teeth. You talking about?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
You talking about the sharpness?
Mm-hmm.
That's his teeth. That's Cad Bane.
That's what I thought. And Matt looked it up and was like, okay, maybe it's not all that strange.
I mean, you're going from a cartoon, animation, CGI, whatever, to live action. Remember when everybody was all up in arms about Ahsoka's
Montros?
Yes, thank you. And how they weren't long enough? Like, come on, there's gonna be some stuff lost in translation here.
Right. And they did manage to pull in the original actor for
the voice
Cad
actor,
Bane,
yep.
Corey Burton. I don't know if he's actually like stating like if he's the actual physical person.
I don't think it was we looked at it because I watched it again when I got home. Dave Kingy, I think his name is okay. The performance arts of Cad Bane.
Okay.
So, which looked beautiful. My girlfriend said that we need to find whatever skin product Cad Bane is using because it was great. Like, yeah. Especially walking in the desert. Come on, my dude.
Nathan says he could have been more blue, and Matt actually agreed with you, but I argue that they're in the middle of a desert, and being in the desert is going to make anyone look pale as fuck.
Yeah. Yep.
And so, okay, so you looked at the performance artist stuff, and I guess because I was trying to figure out how to source that in my review this morning.
I don't remember the name. You have to double check on the credits.
Right.
But
no, and
I remember the Kingy is the full name.
Did you look at the credits and notice that they still have Luke Skywalker labeled as Jedi and didn't put in Luke Skywalker?
Yep, I did see that. I also, you want to know something else I also saw? Starring Tamara Morrison. Where? Sorry, go ahead.
He's in the episode, at least.
1 minute and 2 seconds. Go ahead. No, So that scene happens. Cobb is still alive. He only got shot in the shoulder. The deputy is dead. Like that scene was so sweet. Like I'm watching it at work, and I'm like, so I work on an assembly line at GM, and I'm trying to keep the line running, but I'm losing my shit seeing Cad Bane in live action. So the line went down a couple times. That's fine. I get paid by the hour. Don't buy a truck made. Don't buy a 2021 vehicle. Just saying.
So, in regards to Cad Bane, somebody in my Full Circle Cinema spoiler chat said, I hate how Disney always does this. They make you think you know who the villain is, and then they just bring in the cooler guy at the very end of the show.
No.
And
okay.
I don't think he's seen Clone Wars or Rebels or Bad Batch. So I gave him a little bit of slack, but I was like, Cad Bane is not a bad guy. He is a gun for hire.
Yep, right there.
That is what he is in here. So he's been hired, presumably by the Pikes.
Yeah. I mean, he straight up said, the
he
Pikes
says
will
the
pay.
Syndicate.
Not pretty. No, you're right. But he does say that they'll pay double whatever Boba Fett is offering.
Yeah. And so he's a gun for hire. He's not the villain. He's a gun for hire. So presumably, Boba could, in theory, go to Cad Bane and go, "Hey, here's credits."
He could.
But I don't think Cad Bane, while he is a gun for hire, he still believes in fulfilling a contract.
Yes.
So
also, I don't think Fennec would really work well with him.
I'm excited.
Oh yeah, well, because the last time we saw them meet was in Bad Batch, and I'm pretty and I don't remember correctly, but I think she got shot by him. I don't remember.
I don't remember either. I blanked out completely that show, other than knowing, oh hey, they all ended up back together, and then what's his name, the shotgun guy, the sniper guy, just decides to leave. So
yeah. But season 2.
Season 2. Nathan says, we're getting that Boba Cad Bane showdown next week.
Especially since they have a history together, I would see that. I could definitely see that. That being said, I don't know. I don't know if Boba would actually. Well, no, if he's on the opposite sides of what he wants to do, I can see Boba actually taking him out. But that's just assuming that the Pikes or the Syndicate actually will send Cad Bane to the front lines. I don't see him doing that. It's like he's like, look, my contract was make sure that nobody else messes in, butts into this war that you're starting. You got to pay me more for that.
Yeah, I do think instead of capitalizing on the Boba Cad Bane relationship, I more think we would get the Fennec and Cad Bane showdown because they specifically had that confrontation in the Bad Batch.
Yeah.
Now maybe Disney's not smart enough for that. But
this isn't Disney right now. We're in the Filoniverse is what we're in. Every live action and even cartoon is just Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau taking toys out of the toy box and be like, hey guys, like these? Let's play together. It's like, okay, cool, let's do this. And I'm fine with it. We all like it. We're all there. We're all waiting our turn to play with these toys that they are letting us play with. Mm-hmm. And we all like it. Sorry.
So, I do think Clay says we still haven't seen Boba riding the Rancor. I do think we're gonna get that next week.
I hope.
But I want to bring up another point. Clay says Bane has some balls calling out Boba being a part of the Empire when Bane helped the Empire rise to power. But did Bane actually know he was helping the Empire?
So probably not at the time, but because he wasn't helping the Republic, he was helping Sidious.
Mm-hmm.
Does he know that Sidious and Palpatine were the same people? To the to the knowledge of the layman in the Star Wars universe, the Jedi went against the Republic and attacked Palpatine.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was the story that Palpatine put out. And then the Republic became the Empire. I don't think... And that's specifically why he stated that Boba helped... He worked with the Empire. Because he knows that when Vader needed help, he called on Boba Fett. Well, he called on a ton of bounty hunters, but Boba Fett was the only one that delivered. So I don't think we can actually say that he helped the Empire rise to power, because he didn't know. The Empire came out of the Republic, because everybody that was in the Trade Federation, Darth Vader killed. Like in Revenge of the Sith, all those heads got killed.
Sorry, I was gonna say something really smart because you brought up Empire Strikes Back, and I was like, I'm just gonna say it. It's gonna make me sound really dumb, but I was like, so do you think Cad Bane's gonna die in this because we don't see him in Empire Strikes Back? That's where my brain went, and I was like,
we'll go with that.
No,
wait a minute.
No.
Wait a minute.
So I am curious why he wasn't in Empire Strikes Back, is what I was trying to say. But
maybe, I mean, not every single bounty hunter is there, because... No, wait, the bounty hunter book is set after Empire. Never mind. I don't know. No comment.
Oh, hello. Hello there. I think we got a spam bot in there.
Yay, we love spam bots.
Hey, more content. It's helping the numbers on the YouTube algorithms.
Exactly.
No, so I think that's all really to say about Cad Bane. I do think Vance is gonna be okay.
Yep.
Freetown will definitely join in the struggle.
I think so.
Because the Pikes had their martial shot. So, and then, okay, so we've talked about most everything, but there's a specific part at the end of this that ends on a cliffhanger. And, okay, we're approaching it neutrally. We've talked about, hey, this is the book of Boba Fett.
Yep.
So, in terms of just that scene, what we get the finished building that the androids have all finished.
Which were cool.
And it looks like one of Luke's buildings on Octu, though the planet is not named. I could not find reference to the planet name anywhere. And so Grogu and Luke are sitting across from each other, and they are meditating.
Mm-hmm.
And Luke pulls out the package that the Mandalorian has left and opens it, and it is in fact Beskar chainmail,
which is cool.
So I was right, Clay was wrong. Suck it. I'm just kidding. So Beskar chainmail lays it out, and it was like, the Mandalorian left this for you. And Grogu gets up on his little tiny feet. And by the way, the Force jumps, like, yes, I know it's a training montage. I was like, oh, he's Force jumping.
That was
and then,
fun.
like, Luke walking him through the forest where he's taking 3 steps, and then he just like, here you go. Like, I'm sorry. That side
It was
note,
cute. It was cute.
Cute.
Yeah.
So Grogu gets up and he says, Luke says, but wait, I have something else for you. And he pulls out Yoda's lightsaber.
Now, there is some quote-unquote continuity error, because apparently Yoda's lightsaber got destroyed in a Vader comic, but not to say that Yoda didn't have more lightsabers, but whatever. That is what it is.
Which Vader comic?
See, I don't know. I just heard there was in a Vader comic. I want to find out, because there was 3 different series, and I gotta... probably, maybe the first one, maybe the one that what Charles Soule did, Lord of the Jedi, or Lord of the Dark Lord of the Sith.
Charles Soule's, and he didn't destroy it there. How Yoda's lightsaber was destroyed by Mas Amedda. Canon. Explain Star Wars. However,
I
okay.
don't remember in the first series, but it could have been in the second series, Lords of the Sith, or it could be in the Darth Vader series now. I don't know.
So okay, here we go. I've pulled up the Wikipedia for Yoda's lightsaber, and it says in the behind the scenes section, the 2016 reference book Star Wars Complete Locations depicts the lightsaber as being stored in Yoda's hut by the time of the events of Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
However, the 2017 Darth Vader #1 states that it was destroyed during a celebration of the eradication of the Jedi Order, which is Charles Soule's comic.
Yep.
And when asked about this, writer Charles Soule mused that perhaps Yoda built a new one, that he had more than one, or that Darth Sidious built a fake to make a point. Lucasfilm Story Group's Matt Martin then stated that they are aware of that, but that it isn't an error, as Yoda likely had more than a few lightsabers during his lifetime. Which is a very fair point. The man lived 900 years.
Yeah. I mean, look at Luke. He had 5? Maybe?
5?
So
he's
got the blue. Yep. He got the yellow one after he lost it in Empire. He had one in one of the books. I can't remember which. Another yellow one, unless it's the same yellow one, which I could be wrong. He had the green one in Return of the Jedi, and then I don't know if it's the same green one because he technically threw it away in Jedi, but then he's got a green one after, post Jedi.
So he throws Anakin's lightsaber.
No, he loses Anakin's lightsaber when Vader cuts his hand off.
Right, but Maz Kanata gave it to Rey, and Rey hands Anakin's lightsaber back.
What I'm saying, in Return of the Jedi, when he faces off against Vader and stops him, he's got his new lightsaber, his green one.
Yes.
And then he throws that away when he's facing off against Palpatine. Now, I don't know if he grabs it again before he leaves, or if he's got another one from Return of the Jedi on. Because even in, when we see in Last Jedi, he's got it. He's got a green lightsaber when he almost kills Kylo.
I gotta go back and look at Return of the Jedi, apparently, because I did not realize that he threw away the lightsaber. I thought he had that.
Nope.
Okay,
Toss
I have to look at that.
Anyway, sorry. We got distracted.
Oh, yeah, because he throws it away because Sidious is like, yes, kill me.
Yep.
And that's what he does. Okay.
Yep.
We're on the same page now.
Okay, cool. But yeah, so yes, Yoda may have had multiple lightsabers. That's the point we're trying to get across.
Long story short, so he lays out the lightsaber and the Beskar chainmail, and Grogu goes to look at the lightsaber, and then Luke lays out the ultimatum, and this is what has gotten kind of a lot of people's knickers in a twist. Is they said Luke would have never made him make that ultimatum.
So this goes back to the Luke Skywalker legend, because he's trying to rebuild the Jedi Order as he knows it from what Yoda and Obi-Wan told him.
Yep.
When this happened, I'm like, Luke, you fucking idiot. Why can't he have both? But that's just me. But I also, again, I understand he's right. If he chooses the Beskar chainmail, he is choosing Mando over training. If he chooses to become a Jedi, great. And that's what Luke wants. He's trying to build his school. He wants him to be his first student, his first Padawan. Even though technically Leia was his first student, but we're not gonna talk about that. So this being said, I think he's going to choose the armor. I think he's gonna go back to Mando, and then that's how we're gonna start season 3 of Mandalorian. Is that Grogu's back, and he's gonna have the Force abilities while learning to become a Mandalorian foundling. Mm-hmm. And what's to say that he can't have some Jedi training? Like he already has the training. He had it before, and then Luke even mentioned it in the episode. Like, he's not really teaching him; He's just remembering what he already knows.
Yeah.
So, personally, he can do both. I think he can do both. Luke did both. What is it that it's just only good enough for Luke Skywalker and nobody else? But no, it's one of those things. I also got up in arms about you can't have attachments. Like, dude, you got a sister, and then you take her son into your school. That's attachment, my dude. Come on.
That's why he's so conflicted when he attacks Kylo or
Exactly.
Ben. And I wish they would have stuck with the expanded universe definition, because in the expanded universe, Legends, whatever you want to call it, he says that he can't enforce the attachment requirement because otherwise he would lose a generation of students and he'd lose the potential for all these people who have grown up and are just now figuring out they have force sensitivity because the Empire basically outlawed it.
Yeah.
So all these people have families, and he can't just take those families away from these people. So he has to make a decision, and ultimately I think it serves the Legends universe better because you have generations of Jedi. You have people who recognize, okay, I have an attachment, but I have to be realistic about that attachment and learn how to separate things.
Well, you can even grow it because you can have that attachment. You can grow the Jedi Order more. You're not limiting it to no. You're this. You don't have family. You don't have friends. This is who you are now. Look what happened last time that they tried to get away with attachment. Darth Vader rose up. Plain and simple.
And Clay says Luke is a bitch for that ultimatum. I know it's canon, but he's still a bitch.
Yep.
And I get that, but I also think it maybe is a learning opportunity because I just got The Rise of Kylo Ren. I had to special order it because it was so hard to find.
It's a good one.
And I read issue 1, and in that you have Ben, and the temple's on fire. He says Luke Skywalker's dead. Fights with the other 3 Padawans and is like, I'm more powerful than all of you, and gets on his ship where he has a droid that is like, hey, do you want to go back home? It's been a while. And he remembers his mother. And he's like, no, I'm not there. But clearly Luke has made a change that allows Ben to go see his mother, that allows him to stay in contact with his sister. Mm-hmm. So maybe this is the tipping point where he goes, hey, I just lost this student. Maybe I need to be a little bit more realistic.
I need to open up. I need to change these rules. And he even mentions it in Last Jedi, where for 1,000 years the power of the Sith grew under the Jedi's noses, and they didn't know about it because their methods were wrong. I tried. I didn't realize it at first, and by the time I did, it was already too late.
Mm-hmm. So, and Ahsoka tells him to follow his instincts here, and that he's very much like his father. And so I think
he too kills younglings. What?
I know, because Grogu has the Order 66 memory, and then he's all of a sudden getting shot at by a training remote. So
yeah, right.
So I think this is going to be Luke's first step in making modifications for the future of the Jedi Order before the sequel trilogy. But then also it's the first step in questioning his instincts that gets him to the point where he stands over Ben's bed with a lit lightsaber. So I think because Ahsoka tells him to trust his instincts, I think it's a necessary transformation that has him questioning everything. So, do you think we will see Grogu and Luke next episode? I think you've already said this.
I don't know. If they show up, then I'm going to appreciate these last 2 episodes even more. If they don't, I'll be pissed. There was no point in having these 2 episodes. That's just my opinion. But because I think he's going to choose Mando over becoming a Jedi, I think we will see them.
I think so. I don't picture him choosing the lightsaber. There is a reason he is not in the Rise of Kylo Ren comic.
Correct.
So I think
it's
and
no
I think
different
it's too
than...
much of
Oh, go ahead.
I think it's too much of an opportunity to waste for Lucasfilm in terms of toy production, because if you send him off to become a Jedi, then you literally have to have a Grogu Luke Skywalker show, or you lose all that money with toys.
Yeah.
So one way or another, I think we've not seen the last of Grogu, whether that's he picks the Beskar, which I think he's going to pick, or he picks the lightsaber.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I was gonna bring it. It's no different than them having Ahsoka, who became a fan favorite in Clone Wars, and then once you realize, wait a minute, so she died in Revenge of the Sith, and they had to figure out a way of no, she wasn't a Jedi anymore. The same thing. Grogu is a fan favorite. You have to figure out how he did not die in Luke's school. This is a good opportunity.
Yep. All right.
Told you we'd talk 45 minutes.
Yeah. 50 minutes, and but I think we're done. Are we done?
I think we're done.
Okay. So, y'all, you are spared the extra ad in the episode. You only got one. Hooray. Joe, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at _actually_. Too bad Nathan is still there. You guys can find my show, A Walk Through the Multiverse, at Walk the Verse. And you can find my other show, Comic Book Rundown, on Twitter at Comic Rundown and on Instagram at Comic Book Rundown.
Clay's chiming in one more time. He grabs the chainmail, Force grabs the lightsaber, and books it to Mando.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Let's see that one happen.
I still have to wonder, how the heck does Mando know where they were?
Beacons. I'm pretty sure he just got, he came in and R2 was guiding him in, so he definitely had to have like a ping or something on it.
True.
Luke phoned him, texted him.
Well, Luke clearly didn't want him there, so...
He didn't say that. Ahsoka didn't want him there. There's a difference.
All right, y'all. Well, you can find me on Twitter. It's at SliceOfKatie. This show you can find on Twitter as well. It's at Star Wars The Line, so that the 8 in the War is very important. Don't forget it. My other show is at SliceOfFilm1, and you can find that on Twitter as well. And you can also find me on Instagram. It's at SliceOfKatie as well, so you can cross-platform. Trying to be more active there in terms of like writing short book reviews and stuff. Maybe use TikTok. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yep.
But y'all, I want to thank everyone for being here. Remember to go review us on your favorite podcatcher of choice on the solo feed, and you can be entered to win that omnibus. So don't forget it. You got 2 weeks. So with that, I want to wish everyone a great day or night, whatever time of day you're listening or watching, and we will see y'all next time. May the Force be with you.